will be $700, 700 naira per dollar. Gross domestic product growth rate will be 3.76%. Inflation growth rate will be 21.40%. Federal government of Nigeria retained revenue will be 16.9 trillion naira. Total federal government proposed expenditure will be 26 trillion naira. Fiscal deficit will be 9 trillion for GOEs. New borrowings will be 7.8 trillion naira, including foreign and domestic borrowing.
To all our colleagues, chairman of committees that overseeing these agencies of the government, to please let us pay so much attention. Whenever they appear before you, it's what is the status of your revenue we want to see, and how much are you allowed by law to spend out of this money. For agencies that are exceeding or not following the law, they can be brought before the National Assembly to come and explain why they have to take more than what is expected of them in every financial year. Mr. President, distinguished colleague, another area I want us to please, as the chairman has said, in the area of waivers. In 2024 alone, they have provided for 2.7 trillion waivers. Who are the beneficiary of these waivers? What did they tend to achieve? How are they adding value to the economy? And why are they granted these waivers? And this is one area I believe is of interest and utmost importance to us as a Senate, if the economic agenda of this current administration must be met.
Another recommendation that attracted a debate was the recommendation that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPCL, work towards reducing its production and operational costs to increase available government revenue. After the polarized arguments, the resolution was adopted unaltered.
So I think what we need to do is for our oil and gas related committees to really engage with the NNPC and whoever is involved as an operator to know how we can do that. It's very sensitive. And I will not advise that we simply say they should go and reduce. We should find a way of making it possible for engagement to know exactly what can be done. But if we say we just fait accompli, we should just say go and reduce it. How do we know? So I advise that we should be very careful. Thank you.
On this very simple recommendation, all we want is how do we make NNPC to reduce its production cost, as said by Senate President Emeritus Ahmed Lawal. At one time, production cost per barrel used to be $20. And now NNPC has worked and brought it down to about $15 per barrel. And according to what Malik Harry, the GMD of NNPC, said, they are working towards reducing it by about $10 per barrel. So all we need to say is that NNPC should continue to reduce its production cost. Simple.
The House of Representatives on Wednesday raised their alarm over the Remita platform through which the Treasury single account of the federal government is operated. Through a motion by Jeremiah Umaru, APC Akwanga Nasarawa Egon Wamba, the lower chamber said trillions of naira had been passed through the Remita platform and that the funds were unaccounted for due to the proliferation of sub-accounts by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. The House is worried that if this is not addressed, the country will continue to lose its revenue. Joining us live to discuss this issue is Elvis Isaiah, legal practitioner. Good evening and welcome to our news, Elvis.
Good evening, thank you for having me.
Okay, well, a single treasury account in the first place, is it working?
This is not the first time that the National Assembly will be raising an issue with respect to the operation of the Treasury single account. If you take your mind back to 2015, the Senate had, raised several issues on the operation of the account, issues relating to the system that is being used for the purpose, the 1% commission charges. And of course, currently we are also hearing about sub-accounts that are being created at the CBN for the purpose of operating this treasury single account. Again, in 2018, the House of Representatives also raised an issue on this same issue. Again, in 2019. So we've had these issues about so many challenges facing the operation of the single treasury account. What we haven't had is the political will and the genuine desire to resolve these issues. It is not enough for the National Assembly to always raise alarm over an issue as important as the revenue of the Federation, which is actually a constitutional matter, because the Constitution envisages that all revenues accruing to the Federation will be kept in a single account, from which there must be a budgetary allocation for spending. But over the years, we have seen instances where ministries and agencies of government would open all sorts of accounts, and monies are being spent without the requisite appropriation. So this is the right time for the National Assembly to take, do what is necessary. They have the constitutional right to, conduct oversight functions on how this treasury single account is being operated. Because as it stands now, the purpose is being defeated. The purpose was to, ensure transparency, accountability in our public revenue, and prevent multiplicity of accounts that were being operated by various agencies and ministries, departments and parastatals of government. But the challenges we see today is that this is not being met because there hasn't been proper oversight function by the National Assembly. So my position is that it's not enough for us to just raise alarm like they have always done. This is not the first time, but this time around there should be proper investigation. The proper, authorities should be called to question, so that the members of the public can, see exactly what's going on with the treasury single account.
Are you placing the blame of these discrepancies or things that are happening with this remitter on the system itself, or you're placing it on the human factor?
Well, I don't think the system is never a problem. The problem is those who are charged with the duty of, operating the system. Yes, issues have been raised about the system, and that those issues have, has ranged from monopoly. There's this talk that the remitter, System Specs, which operates the remitter, is monopolizing the system, and they are the ones that can, they are involved in the transactions. People have also raised questions about the 1% commission that is payable on the funds, and all of that. For me, I don't think the system is a problem. I think the human factor, because right now we are seeing sub-accounts. The whole idea was to have a single account. Mm-hmm. So when you now have accounts that, the oversight functions of National Assembly cannot reach, and, we cannot see at a glance, then there's a problem. It's defeat the whole purpose. So for me, it's always the people. It's not about the system. We always complain about systems in Nigeria. We complain about democracy. We complain about, XYZ. The problem is not the system. The problem is the people who are charged with the duties and responsibility of managing the system. And there has to be accountability. And that's where the oversight functions of National Assembly comes to play. And for me, I blame the National Assembly because they have this is the Constitution. If you look at Section 80 and 162 of the Constitution, this is a clear constitutional mandate. The treasury single account is a clear constitutional mandate. And the National Assembly has the duty to ensure that is being followed. So for me, it's really not the system, but the people that are managing the system.
Yeah, I was going to ask the rationale behind the sub-accounts, because the aim seems to be defeated. If there are going to be sub-accounts for something that we were applauding, I think it came in the time of Muhammadu Buhari as the president of Nigeria. Single treasury account, everybody was saying it was a good thing and all that. But from the experience we've had, whether it is the human factor or the system itself, wherever the problem is coming from that is making people to complain the way they're complaining right now, do you think a single treasury account will really work in Nigeria? Transparency aside, because we can have more than one and still be transparent if we want to be. So, but do you think a single treasury account will be the answer to the problems of loose money being thrown about anywhere and being taken by people who should not?
Well, it has worked, I mean, it's not only in Nigeria we are operating the single treasury account. It has worked in so many other countries of the world. And so if it's not working here, then something must be wrong. So it's really not the single treasury account as an idea that is the problem. It is how we operate it in Nigeria that is the problem. It is sad that most viable principles that are brought from other parts of the world that have worked, lifted countries out of poverty in other parts of the world, when they get to Nigeria, they don't work. So that tells you that it's not really the idea itself; it's the way and manner it is operated. So the single treasury account can work, but if the CBN really wants it to work, there are even complaints that the funds that comes through the single treasury account through the commercial banks, money deposit banks, there are complaints that they don't even get to the CBN until until a long time thereafter. The idea was to ensure that these funds, at the moment they are transferred through the system, they get to the CBN immediately. But we are hearing now that some banks delay in remitting these funds to the CBN. In fact, in 2019, the Senate had, I think, was it the Senate or the House of Representatives, they had invited the managing director of First Bank, to come and explain, some of these delays. So, I would maintain my position that the problem is not really the system. The problem is the fact that we don't want, you see, at any point in time in this country where we try to come up with a system that will ensure transparency and accountability, we always, find ways to defeat it. And that's what is happening right now. The rent seekers within the system, those who are beneficiaries of an opaque system, a system that is not open to scrutiny, they are at work again, trying to scuttle the treasury single account system. So for me, it's really all part of the corruption that we have in Nigeria. Until we are really serious about dealing with the issue of corruption, we might not be able to, no system will work. I mean, the TSA, as it is called, is really not the problem. It's really just the fact that we are not ready to get anything to work, because the rent seekers in the system, the police, those who depend on, a corrupt system, will never allow it to work. And that's where we are. Okay. And we need the political will. We need the National Assembly to just, do one talking in order to fix it.
All right. Thank you very much, Elvis, for coming on our news today and giving us your thoughts.
Thank you for having me. It was a great thing.
Yeah. We've been talking with Elvis Asia, a legal practitioner, and we're talking about a single treasury account. Moving on now to other news, the security forces have thwarted a Boko Haram attempt to plant an improvised explosive device, IED, near Kudukoko, southeast of Malam Fatori. According to the Aeon's intelligence X-page, the incident occurred on Tuesday, November 21 at noon. 2 terrorists were reportedly neutralized during the engagement, and the troops successfully recovered the unexploded device along with tools used for the construction of the IEDs. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police in Adamawa State, CP Afolabi Babatola, has condemned the recent clash between police and military officers in Yola, the state capital. The clash, which occurred on Tuesday night, resulted in the death of one police officer, Inspector Jacob Daniel. In a statement, CP Babatola described the incident as unfortunate and regrettable, as he ordered an immediate investigation into the matter to ensure peace and justice. The CP warned that attacks on all security officers in the line of duty would no longer be tolerated. He stressed that the police hold the lives of all security personnel sacrosanct, and that such unwarranted conflict would be strictly treated in accordance with extant laws. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, called on all Lagosians, especially professionals in the construction industry, not to cut corners in the discharge of their duties. Governor Sanwo-Olu, who stated this during the unveiling of the new Lagos State Building Control Agency's building in Ikeja, stressed that trying to cut corners has been majorly identified as the cause of building collapse in society today. The Lagos State Building Control Agency has expanded its activities to its new office to address the recurrent issue of building collapses within the state. The governor maintained that with the inauguration of the agency's building, it is repositioned to effectively discharge its duty in line with the agenda of the government. He also noted that the newly inaugurated office will serve as the nerve center for vital functions, equipped with modern technology and skilled workforces to enhance efficiency and effectiveness.
All the relevant agencies, that includes LAFCA, that includes Material Testing, Lagos State Commission, and all of the others are under very strict instruction to ensure full implementation of government policy and zero tolerance on anybody that flouts or that are not completely at adherence to this policy. There shall be no sacred cows in our determination and ensuring that all cases of any form of building collapse or construction that doesn't meet standards are going to be permitted. I want to say that we're using this occasion to further explain that we are a forward-looking government. We're a government that will continue to listen to you.
Sanwo-Olu further urged all the staff of the agency to rededicate and recommit themselves to achieving the mandates of this agency. It is not just in Nigeria that we have seen or heard building collapsing, but all over the world. But with the right policy and execution in place, the menace will be reduced to the barest minimum. On the part of government, according to Sanwo-Olu, they will provide an enabling environment to make policies to promote healthy buildings. Speaking on the importance of the agency's new building, the Commissioner for Fiscal Planning and Urban Development, Dr. Oluyinka Olumide, said the inauguration of the building would further assist with the commencement of the ongoing certified accreditation program. Meanwhile, the General Manager, LAFCA, Bolahun Oki, said with the new office opening, the agency was equipped to serve the people of the state more efficiently.
LAFCA is indeed for us to have in our space an environment that truly represents how people should live and how they should behave. Unfortunately, in the last couple of years, we have seen incidents of building collapse in one form or the other. And we've been called out, we've been challenged, we've been pushed to the wall. And I said that never again would we allow the agency that is responsible to control all of this development, be put in a place where they cannot discharge their responsibility fully.
To commission this building today, it shall further assist in the commencement of our certified accreditor program, which is termed CAP, which is a program that brings in private sector professionals in the built environment to collaborate with the Lagos State government professionals towards efficient service delivery of both our planning permit and stage certification of building process. Let this building stand as a symbol of our collective resolute to continually improve our urban landscape and provide top-notch services to the people of Lagos State.
In the wake of the biting effect of inflation and its impacts, Nigerians have been advised to invest in real estate as it is the best way to shore up income loss. The convener of the Go Real Pro with Jane Owumere said these at the opening of a two-day real estate network marketing business mastery conference. Details in this report.
First quarter of 2024, I'm going to do XYZ with this particular affiliate.
This conference is not just about teaching. It is about empowering anyone who wants to be a professional networker and those who want to learn how to apply networking principles to grow their businesses. It kicks off with this panel session.
It's not everybody that you meet that will buy land. Some of them need money.
Participants are taken through effective strategies including personal development, digital and network marketing, among others.
Not everybody is a salesperson. Not everybody is a network marketer. Not everybody, with all due respect to all the other topics, everything is important. But I believe that everybody should be, regardless of your profession, regardless of your field of endeavor, everybody should be interested in personal development.
But if you would embody the energy of a big time closer, you will close even without speaking to anybody, and somebody says, I want to close with this particular person, they will call your name.
What is your reason for doing digital marketing? Who are your target audience in digital marketing? Now, on the internet, there are various people you meet. There are people you want to make relationship with today and probably do a business transaction with them in future.
We catch up with the convener, Jane Onwumere. She reveals plan to officially unveil a startup grant of 1.5 million naira to 5 million naira to over 120 persons to enable Nigerians and Africans kickstart the journey to becoming real estate professionals.
I saw what we call estate agents, always quarreling over commission, always fighting over, I brought this customer, I did this. And I said to my husband that we can give this thing a professional look. That agents don't have to fight if we make this thing professional. So that's what gave birth to what is today known as the real estate network marketing business.
She also bears her mind on current economic issues, specifically as they concern real estate development in the country and the way forward.
So if you invest money carefully into real estate, it's something that will eventually come back again and give you back value. You understand? So really, it has not affected real estate. Realtors are coming up every day. Real estate companies are springing up every day, which goes to show that even in the time of inflation, real estate is still working. If all of us join hands together, we will solve the housing problem. And that's what we are going to be explaining tomorrow evening when we get to that part of this program. We are going to be talking to people about how we can collectively confront the housing problem.
Onwumere reveals that the industry must continue to develop more entrepreneurs because there are some gaps that need to be filled if more Nigerians are to become home owners.
Still ahead, Putin tells G20 Russia never cancelled peace talks with Ukraine. Details when we return.
My name is Adejokela Sisi. I'm the founder and creative director of Planet 3R. At Planet 3R, we convert textile and plastic waste into eco-friendly products. The motivation actually came from a rural community in Ibadan here. Whenever it rains, the whole place, people will not be able to go inside the community. If it rains overnight, people will not be able to go to school, they will not be able to go to work. Anytime the water now goes away, you now realize a lot of waste spin. And I was like, this is actually the root cause of this problem, improper waste management system. Then I look at it that, what can we do to solve this problem? And that was how I started using the weaving skill that I've acquired from my mom since I was 9 years old. Then I started using it to weave those waste to now make sure that we now convert them into beautiful items like bags, shoes, even clothing. I actually participated at Womenpreneur Season 3, that was 2021. One of the things I really gained at that time was business development. You know, it's not just about the talent now or having to know how to convert the waste or having the idea, but to be able to put it into a successful business. I really appreciate what Access Bank is doing for entrepreneurs. Let us now say women now, because most of the time women don't really have much of these advantages. I love the fact that there's an initiative for women. I want to encourage you to make sure that you go and apply honestly. Your life will not remain the same again.
We move now to other parts of Africa. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS Parliament, has appealed to the heads of state and government in the region to lift the sanctions imposed on the Niger Republic. The head of the state in ECOWAS had last July imposed sanctions on the Niger Republic to protest the ouster of President Mohamed Bazoum by certain military officers led by erstwhile Presidential Guard Commander General Abdourahamane Tchiani. The chief whip of the Senate, Senator Aline Dume, who addressed journalists after the opening session of the parliament, declared that states in Nigeria, about 7 of them bordering Niger Republic, are at the receiving end of the sanctions. An investigation has been opened in Mali following the discovery of a mass grave in Kidal, a northern town formerly under rebel control and now in the hands of the army, the prosecutor of the West African Republic announced in a statement made public on Tuesday. Amadou Boucar Touré, the public prosecutor of the judicial pole, specialized in the fight against terrorism and transnational crime, in a note dated Monday, made it public on Tuesday. According to Touré, an investigation has been opened to shed light on the matter and identify and arrest the perpetrators, co-perpetrators, and accomplices. Meanwhile, Tuareg-dominated rebel groups in northern Mali on Wednesday rejected the army's claims that it discovered a mass grave after taking the strategic northern town of Kidal from the separatists last week. The army made the claim Saturday after saying it discovered the site Thursday in operations to the city. But the separatists hit back with a statement charging that the allegations were wholly fabricated and obviously intended to hide the horrible massacres committed by the terrorist duo Wagner-Fama, referring to Russian mercenaries fighting alongside Malian armed forces. The separatists slammed what they termed a clumsy maneuver to allow to go unmentioned all the massacres perpetrated by the army and their Russian paramilitary allies. And from Somalia comes the report that the army will be able to take over from the African Union forces expected to leave the country at the end of 2024, assured Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, who considered the results obtained in the offensive currently on pause encouraging against the radical Islamist Shebab. Launched in August 2022 in the center of the country, this offensive against the group affiliated with Al-Qaeda, which has been leading an insurgency against the Somali authorities for 16 years, has made notable progress but has stalled in recent months. The Somali army associated with clan militias benefited from the support of the African Union force ATMIS to retake large areas of the territory, particularly in the center of the country. ATMIS, made up of troops from Burundi, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Uganda, was due to begin a second phase of withdrawal in September with the departure of 3,000 troops, but the Somali government requested and received a 3-month postponement. Outside Africa, the 4-day pause in fighting between Israel and Hamas will begin at 10 a.m. on Thursday, Hamas says. Israel has not yet commented on when the pause will begin, but Foreign Minister Eli Cohen said he expected the first hostages to be received on Thursday. Under the agreement, 50 Israeli hostages taken by Hamas will be released and 150 Palestinian women and teenagers held in Israel jails will be freed. Families of those held in Gaza have said every captive needs to come home, and that each hour is critical. Up to another 150 Palestinians could be released, as well as another 50 hostages from Gaza after the initial 4-day pause. On Wednesday morning, Israel confirmed its ground and air operation in Gaza is continuing before the pause starts. Israel's government insists that this isn't the end of the war, reiterating its commitment to complete the elimination of Hamas. Pope Francis on Wednesday met separately with Israeli relatives of hostages held in Gaza and of Palestinian prisoners in Israel, saying both sides suffer so much. At the end of this weekly audience at the Vatican, the 86-year-old pontiff called for prayers for peace, saying both groups suffer so much. The Vatican said last week the Pope hoped to show his spiritual closeness during the private meetings, which it is said would be exclusively humanitarian in nature. Russian President Vladimir Putin has rejected criticisms of his war against Ukraine at a virtual G20 summit. According to the Kremlin, Putin said that some participants had expressed their shock at Russia's ongoing aggression in Ukraine in their speeches. Putin acknowledged that acts of war are always a tragedy, adding that from his point of view, Ukraine will not negotiate and that Russia has never cancelled peace talks with Ukraine. Putin once again cited a change of power following pro-European protests in Kyiv in 2014, which he called a bloody coup as the trigger for the conflict. Up next, National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) says petrol price increased to 630.63 naira in October. That's in business news after this short break.
Picture this. You're sitting at a table, ready to indulge in a mouth-watering meal. Stop. For many of us, it is hard to resist the temptation, especially when it comes to enjoying a juicy beef dish. But have you ever stopped to think about the impact of your food choices on the greater good? Our food choices have a great impact on others. The beef industry is one of the leading contributors to deforestation. As trees are cleared to make way for cattle ranching, it not only disrupts the delicate balance of ecosystems, but also contributes to climate change. We can make a difference with our choices. It does not mean we all have to become vegans overnight. Imagine enjoying fish and poultry a few times a week, indulging in beef just once a month, and filling our plates with plenty of plant-based goodness. Every little bit counts, and even small reductions in our intake can make a huge impact on the climate. By making smarter food choices, we're not only taking care of ourselves, but also the planet we call home. Remember, the choices we make today lead to a better tomorrow.
Welcome to Business News. The National Bureau of Statistics says the average retail price of a litre of petrol increased from 195.29 naira in October 2022 to 630.63 naira in October 2023. It made the declaration in its Petrol Price Watch for October 2023 released in Abuja on Wednesday. It stated that the October 2023 price of 630.63 naira represented a 222.92% increase over the price of 195.29 naira recorded in October 2022. Comparing the average price value with the previous month of September 2023, the average retail price increased by 0.71% from 626.21 naira. On State Profiles analysis, Zamfara paid the highest average retail price of 659.38 naira per litre, followed by Gombe and Borno at 658.33 and 659.27 naira respectively. Conversely, Lagos, Oyo and Delta paid the lowest average retail price at 590.95 naira, 592.19 naira, and 599.38 naira respectively. The federal government has praised the Walter Smith Modular Refinery for its contribution to meeting Nigeria's energy needs. The refinery, located in Imo State, is already producing over 600 million liters of various products and dispatching 20 trucks daily. Heineken Lokpaberi, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, who visited the refinery, said he was very proud of what he saw. He noted that modular refineries were the shortest way to address Nigeria's energy problems. Lokpaberi said that he would continue to support the owners of modular refineries and that the government would do whatever it could to help them succeed. President Bola Tinubu's government has assured Nigerians of stable electricity supply by the first quarter of the year 2024. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Maitama Tuga, gave this assurance in an interview with newsmen. The country has in recent times recorded numerous cases of nationwide blackouts due to collapse of the national grid, vandalism, and others. The Naira maintained its stability in the crypto market despite the $4.3 million settlement with U.S. authorities as it traded within the 1,120 to 1,150 Naira bandwidth against the dollar on Binance. The world's largest crypto exchange by trading volume agreed to pay $4.3 billion to settle criminal charges that it had broken money transmitting and sanction laws, one of the largest penalties the USS has gotten from a defendant. Founder Changpeng CZ Zhou entered a guilty plea in Seattle to charges that he personally faced. In exchange, he agreed to give up his position and pay a fine of $50 million. As part of efforts to ensure strict compliance with the country's tax laws, the executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Zach Adedeji, has charged international shipping companies operating in Nigeria to ensure to reconcile their books with the service before December 31st, 2023. Adedeji revealed that the tax compliance exercise initiated by FIRS on the activities of foreign shipping companies lifting hydrocarbons from Nigeria was not intended to disrupt their operations, but rather a measure to widen the tax net to grow revenue for the country. The federal government has set a target of increasing Nigeria's tax to GDP ratio to 18% within the next 3 years. And that's it on Business News. The news continues. I am Shade Uwe.
Up next is entertainment news.
Good evening, my name is Uyime Elijah. Superstar Nigerian singer Rema has become the first African artist to appear on Billboard End of the Year album charts. The Dumebi crooner has enjoyed an incredible 2023 with his hit single Calm Down topping charts in multiple countries in a feat that has made it the biggest African export yet. In another landmark feat, Rema becomes the first African artist to have his album appear on the Billboard 200 End of the Year chart, with his debut album Rave and Roses finishing the year at number 157. Rema's Calm Down also finished number 1 on Billboard's 2023 Pop Airplay and Rhythm Airplay Year-End chart, and number 6 on the Hot 100 Year-End 2023 chart. Grammy-winning Nigerian singer Damini Ogulu, aka Burna Boy, has been ranked number 1 on the Billboard Year-End US Afrobeat Artist chart. Calm Down crooner Rema took the second spot, while Thames Cameroonian diva Lil Bianca and Wizkid are placed 3rd, 4th, and 5th respectively. Arya star CK Ashake, Davido, and Oxlade complete the top 10 in the list released on Tuesday evening via Billboard website. Meanwhile, Rema's Calm Down remix featuring Selena Gomez topped the Billboard Year-End US Afrobeat Songs chart, while Lil Bianca's People and Thames Free Mind ranked at number 2 and 3 respectively. Wizkid's Essence featuring Thames and Justin Bieber and Burna Boy's Last Last completes the top 5. The mayor of Atlanta, Andre Dickens, has recognized Nigerian-American singer David Adeleke, aka Davido's contribution towards entertainment in the city of Atlanta. Following the OBO Crooners headline Away Festival at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, the mayor and the Atlanta City Council declared November 18 Davido Day in honor of the singer. In a message to the singer on his birthday, November 21, 2023, the mayor noted that Davido has captivated audience worldwide, becoming a global icon in the music industry. Meanwhile, the Fountain Council Board of Commissioners has also honored Davido. The board has proclaimed 21st November as Davido Appreciation Day in the city of Fountain County, Georgia. American actor and singer Tyrese Gibson is reportedly requesting for a new judge to be put on his divorce case with ex Samantha Lee. The Fast and Furious star 44 made this request over claims that the Superior Court Judge Kelvin M. Farmer is biased against him. The actor disagreed with Farmer's handling of the case, alleging that the judge abruptly cancelled a court hearing and demanded a sum of $450,000 bound for his appeal within 10 days. Gibson claims he planned on explaining during that hearing how he was unable to make the payments with the Hollywood strikes affecting his income. In December 2020, Tyrese and Samantha announced their split and divorce 3 years after secretly tying the knot. And that's all on entertainment news.
Coming up next is sports news.
Former Manchester City defender Benjamin Mendy has sued the Premier League club over nearly 2 years of unpaid wages after he was charged with sexual offences in 2021, the player's lawyer said this week. The France international has filed a multi-million-pound claim with the Employment Tribunal seeking the return of pay up until the end of his contract with the English champions, which ended in June. Mendy was found not guilty of 1 count of rape and 1 of attempted rape by a British court in July after being acquitted of 6 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault in January following allegations made by multiple women. Mendy's lawyer, Nick DeMarco, confirmed he was acting for Mendy in a multi-million-pound claim for unauthorized deductions from wages in an email statement. Mendy, currently at Ligue 1 side Lorient, joined Manchester City from AS Monaco in 2017 for a fee of around £52 million. In boxing, former 2-time heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua has fired back at the recent statements by Deontay Wilder over his identity heading into the next clashes on December 23 in Saudi Arabia. The two longtime rivals will co-headline the big event in separate fights as Joshua will face veteran contender Otto Wallin, while Wilder will take part in a battle of former champions with Joseph Parker. Wilder believes Joshua is questioning his own identity because he wasn't fully made by his own merits. Joshua disagrees with Wilder's take on the matter, saying that he remains strong in his identity even if he was fast-tracked much quicker than Wilder was. Joshua will be taking part in his 3rd fight of the year after securing victories over Jermaine Franklin and Robert Helenius.
And the main news again. Appeal Court has cleared the air on Kanu judgment controversy, cites typo error as NNPP files appeal at Supreme Court. Oshun judicial workers have declared indefinite strike over CJ and police. Mali judiciary has opened investigation following mass grave discovery in former rebel stronghold. Israel government and Hamas have agreed to a 4-day truce, 50 hostages to go free. And that's the news now. For more stories, please follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa and Plus TV Africa Lifestyle. You can also view us from Limex on limex.tv and Glow TV apps anywhere in the world. My name is Nyamgul Agaji. Thanks for being there and have a lovely night.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on Plus TV Africa, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408 or send an email to marketing@plustvafrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Booking November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.